life. Oftentimes, and I may be painting with broad strokes and stereotyping a little bit, but America is more about what's the least I need to do to get the job done, more about functionality, more not necessarily about form. It doesn't. Oftentimes, we're even in our architecture, we're boxy. We're about we need to build this. What do we need to do? It's not necessarily about aesthetics. Oftentimes, design may be overlooked over functionality. So, what would you say? What is the Nordic approach to engineering that
Mhm.
oftentimes you guys get it right and Silicon Valley is overlooking and is not hitting the mark?
Yeah, it's very topical. So my background being a Swede, I could talk about the Swedish culture where it can move very, very slowly. So decision makers, it's a very cultural thing that is a flat hierarchy that everyone should have an input to a decision making. So a decision maker, let's say a CEO, is like, right, he's convinced, she is convinced, but they want to have assurances from everyone else that is everyone else okay with this, and that can drag on so long, and it's it can be good for some things, but here we're talking about just a pilot, right? Dude, just make a decision. Um, like it's not a multi-billion-dollar deal, it's a small pilot, it's a trial of 4 months. Like make a decision. Um, Whereas the Silicon Valley or the American approach, as you say, it's a lot of function. I think there is good. Um, what's the word for it? I mean, it's necessary sometimes. Like you just need to get it out there. You need to get it rolling. Okay, it doesn't work 100%. Why not? All right, let's fix it. Let's do this. There is a great example of why things in China are developed so quickly is if you give a European team or even a Western team a, a project scope, and then you give a Chinese team a project scope. So you have 1 month to design a robot, design, build, and deploy a robot for, let's say, picking, like moving something from here to here. The Western team will spend 3 weeks of that month designing the robot and spend the last week building it and then testing, and it
Mm.
doesn't work 100%. The Chinese, they will build it from day one. It's not going to work, but they'll keep doing the iterations and
Yeah.
improving it. By the time they get to the third week, they have a robot that is so cheap to manufacture because they've really narrowed it down, and it's doing the operation already. It's in deployment. It's ready to scale. And
Mm.
that approach, I think, of if we go back to the Scandinavian versus the American approach, that right, we just need to get it rolling. Like we can polish it as long as we want, but then we're never going to sell. We're never going to deploy. We're never going to get the feedback. But the European approach of it should be done right, it should be done to accordance, it should be compliance, etc. There are good merits to that, but if you get stuck in that, you never get the point
Yeah.
of deployment. I think there needs to be a compromise of the two. That
The middle path
things,
somewhere.
yeah, things should be safe, stable, reliable, but we also need it to. It needs to get out. Like it needs to work. Um,
Yeah.